Howdy. Welcome to dacort's Data Lab. Today I'm going to walk through a blog post about streaming changes from relational databases to an S3 data lake using Apache Hudi on EMR and the AWS Database Migration Service. So let me get started on the stream. I'm going to tweet this out and we'll get going. So let me find my link here. Let's see. Cool. There's my link. Awesome. And let's go ahead and just validate that. I think I'm on, there we go. Okay, cool. Firing up the YouTube machine. Mostly just walking through this blog post of how to process DMS data with not Huggy, Hoodie. Huggy? I think somebody should name something Apache Huggy. All right, cool. So tweet that out, see if folks come in, and let's have some fun. So this blog post here, this was published at the end of last year. So I didn't know that Hoodie made this change, but Hoodie added support for streaming the AWS Database Migration Service CDC changes into um, into S3. So with the CDC stuff that comes out of DMS, it can be pretty tough to deal with. A long time ago, I don't think I have it. I wrote a script that showed how to merge all these changes from CDC into, I think I was just using Glue at the time, so just using a PySpark script, and it was pretty challenging to do. So it's nice to see that Hoodie now has this Hoodie Delta streamer, and so if I pop that open, this Delta streamer, so now we can ingest, and this supports a lot of other stuff in addition to DMS, but you can ingest from all sorts of different sources. So I want to see. I haven't actually looked at this documentation yet, but yeah, so there's Delta Streamer, runs in continuous mode, a whole bunch of configuration there. I really like their code samples. That's really nice. It's always fun to look at the different Apache projects and see which look at the different websites. Like here, this just for fun. So let's see Apache Pinot. Let's look at that really quickly. So Apache Pinot, you pull that up. Look at this website. It's beautiful. It's got GitHub up there. It's got dark mode. Like this is amazing. It's got all of the the you know call outs right there, all the customers. I mean, look at this thing. It's pretty awesome. And then let's go to an old standby of an Apache project. Let's go to HBase. Look at this. I'm back in 2015 again. It's functional and tons of people use HBase, but no news since 2019. I don't know. But anyway, let's close that. That's not what we're here for today. So today we are going to talk about using Hoodie to stream data. So in this blog post, thankfully, there is a big CloudFormation template because this spins up a bunch of different things. So we're going to spin up EMR, we're going to spin up RDS, we're going to spin up DMS and S3 as well, of course. And this also uses Systems Manager to connect to my EMR cluster. So I went ahead and I already deployed this CloudFormation template. There was one big thing I had to do before deploying it. That was creating this DMS VPC role. And there are instructions. I found them over here. Oops. There are instructions on how to create those necessary roles on the documentation over here. So it says pretty much just copy and paste. When you go down here, you can, let's see, there's that DMS VPC role. And so this just creates the necessary roles that allow you to use DMS. So that's cool. This stack got all spun up. And if I go and look at my stack, I've got a few things in here. So let's see. Here's my stack info. I've got my database migration service here. It already set up some endpoints and already set up a replication instance. So that's already configured, which is pretty nice. The source is let's see here, my RDS database. So Hoodie blog DMS. And then my target is just an S3 target. So that's just dropping it into this Hoodie blog temp S3 bucket here. Cool. So I've got that. I've got an EMR cluster up and running, which is awesome. And I hadn't surprisingly used Session Manager before, so I don't have any network access to this cluster, but using Session Manager, I just go in here and hit connect, and all of a sudden I'm connected to my EMR cluster. So that's pretty sweet. It's nice having that there as well. So that was taken care of as part of the stack. And then the only other thing to call out is my RDS database. So that created a MySQL 5.2 database, I believe, and set it up to give me access. So let me actually log into that database. And to do that, that just uses a default username and password. So I'm going to go back over here and whoops, let's see if I can, I might need to quickly install a MySQL client. I didn't already have that installed. Hoodie blog user. Yeah, let me do a quick brew install of MySQL client. Looks like brew, of course, was doing something with regards to upgrading Python, because anytime I run brew now, why does MySQL client rely on Python? I'm so confused. Anyway, okay, cool. So I should be MySQL client. Where did it install it? Well, I didn't want this to be a homebrew video, but let's see. Brew install MySQL client. There's the dependencies. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Oh, got it. So it's in there. Let me do that really quickly. So I should have, okay. Let's do export. I'll just do this right now. Update my path. There we go. And now I should have, there we go, MySQL. All right, cool. And let's see, MySQL. I need to do the TCP option. All right. I should have finished validating my MySQL install. Speed connection. So, you know what? I can just do MySQL-u, hoodie blog user, -p 3306, and then that guy. Oh man. I'll get this up and running in just a second. Thankfully, it's mostly just me in here right now, so let's do this. Oh yeah, I gotta get, nope, that's the, I always forget, it's been a long time since I've used MySQL, so apologies. There we go. Okay, so there's my default password. All right, oh, I need the -h. There we go. Ha 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 ha. All right, cool. So show DBs, or show tables. Cool. So now I need to go through this blog. I need to go ahead and create a table and then do an initial sync of DMS into S3 and then stream changes. So let's follow through the blog post here. We'll zoom in a little bit. So we went ahead and created all that. The CloudFormation template uses M5XL and 2XL. Okay. Cool. So it's got all that set up. Awesome. Okay, cool. So the database instance deployed as part of the CloudFormation stack has already been created with the settings for AWS DMS to work in CDC mode. So there's apparently a couple specific settings you have to have enabled. We've got backups running, and now we want to do the end-to-end data flow. So let's just go ahead and do this. And we'll do a call MySQL. Cool. Send bin log retention hours 24. And now let's go ahead and use dev. Why is that just kind of hanging? There we go. Cool. Database changed. And let's go ahead and create this table. So that's retail transactions, just some example data in there. Oops, and I forgot a C on the beginning of that, so that should error out in just a second here. Why is that taking so long? That's unfortunate. Yes, I made a mistake. Thank you. Okay, there we go. Took a while to tell me I made a mistake. So now we're going to insert some sample data into there. So let's go ahead and just copy all of this, and we'll insert that into the table. Bam, 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 bam. Didn't like one of those. Oh, that's fine though. I got some sample data in there, so that's cool. All right. I don't know where that came from. Awesome. Now we can use DMS to start pushing this data into S3. So on the console, we're going to run the task hoodie load. So let's go over to DMS over here. Where is DMS? Database Migration Service. Cool. So when you're setting up DMS, there's a bunch of things you have to set up first. You need a replication instance, you need endpoints for a source and a target, and then you need a task that actually does the work of migrating the data. So in my replication instances, I've got this hoodie blog DMS in here, and that's up and running. And on my VPC, and if I go ahead and just hit that, I don't know if there's anything specific we need to look at here, but yeah, that's up and running there. My endpoints I already showed, so there's my MySQL source and my S3 target. And then under database migration tasks, here I've got my hoodie blog load. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through here and let's see. One more thing I want to do. Oops. Sorry, I'm just posting something else over here in another window. Okay, cool. So just did that. Okay, cool. So let's see. So I've got my hoodie blog load. That is ready to go. That's going to do a full load and then ongoing replication. So when you create a task in DMS, you have to have those replication instances and source and targets already set up. And then there's a few different things you can do. So you can migrate existing data, you can replicate data changes only, or you can go and do both of those. So we're going to do that second option there, which does a full export, and then it continues to replicate those changes in an ongoing fashion. So that task already exists. I'm going to go ahead and run this task. Run the task blah. All right, so there's my task. I think I need to do a restart, resume. Okay, cool. Sweet, so I'm gonna go here and I will do a restart, resume. And that should kick off. So now that's starting. And I've got the hoodie blog CloudFormation stack created an S3 bucket for me. So I've already got that S3 bucket. So what I'm going to do while that is starting up, I'm going to go and take a look in that S3 bucket. So let's see here. I don't need that at the moment. And AWS S3 LS. Let's see what's in there. And actually, I'll probably just pop this open on the, let me just pop this open on the console over here. So do the S3 console, and we'll pop over to that bucket. That's the hoodie blog bucket. There we go. And let's see what's in there. Let's close this tab over here. So now you can see DMS already started populating a bunch of stuff in here. So there's DMS data, dev, and retail transactions. So that's the initial export from the database. So I think if I click over here, we can see that that's already running. And so now it's just going to sit there and kind of churn away. And if I go to, let's see, if I click in there, I should have some table statistics here. Yep, so load state, table completed, 12 rows so far. Awesome. And I think, yeah, let me zoom in a little bit on that too. Cool. So DMS started. We can actually see that data in S3. It's dumping that out to Parquet. I really need to install Parquet tools again, don't I? But anyway, don't need that for now. So that does a full load. So that's pretty awesome. So in a few minutes, the status should change to load complete, replication ongoing. And that's what it says for me right there. So that's pretty awesome. And let's see. Yep, you can go to S3 bucket and we see we have that load Parquet file. So now we need to go to over here to EMR. And what we're going to do through that, so we're logged into the EMR cluster. We're the Hadoop user. So with DMS, it writes both the incremental and the initial load to the same location. And so what we need to do, just for the purpose of this, we need to move that initial load, and then we'll do the incremental files after that. So we want to process this full load first. And so in order to do that, we're going to need to move that data. So let's do this. AWS S3 move. And what is that bucket name again? That bucket name is Hoodie blog template. Actually, I can just copy that whole S3 URI there. I love that button. It shouldn't be that nice of a button, but it makes a difference. So I'm going to move my retail transactions to data full. Okay. Cool. So I'm just going to do this, and we'll say S3 hoodie. Oops. I've got to get better at actually copying stuff. All right. So DMS data, data full, dev, retail transactions, and that'll copy everything over. Let's see. Oh, I need to do an S3 move. Okay, cool. So let's go over here, do S3 move. Awesome. So that just moved that single Parquet file over to that data full location. And then what I'm going to do, I need to run this Spark job now. So I've got that data full folder. Now we need to use this hoodie deltastreamer to populate the data set on S3. So let's look at what this command is going to be. So we're going to do a Spark submit. We'll use the deltastreamer class, and these are the different packages we're going to use. That'll run on the cluster. Let's see, convert metastore Parquet false. There's the hoodie jar that I'm going to use. We'll use copy on write. And then the properties, yep, that's going to be the, all right, I'm going to go ahead and copy this whole command, and let's drop it into full load, drop it into here. And I need that bucket name again. So that bucket name is going to be right there. So that's going to be that. Okay, let's take a quick look at this properties file too. I haven't seen that before. So what is that? Does that exist there? It does. So let's copy that. So what's in there? Okay, cool. So that's hoodie data source record key field, sync partition field. Okay, that's just a bunch of different. Oh, cool. Awesome. Okay, cool. So that gives us just a bunch of configuration options for that hoodie deltastreamer. Awesome. All right, so now I can run this Spark submit command on my cluster. So let's go ahead and run this. We're just going to copy all of this and paste it in here. Awesome. And the other thing I'm going to do with that spinning up is, if I can, that'll probably run pretty quickly, but what I also want to do, I want to see if I can get into my Spark history server here so I can kind of keep an eye on that as well. So I'll go and do that. This is spinning up, so that's going to keep running for a little bit there. And where's that actually going to dump the data out to? So that's going to dump the data out to Hoodie retail transactions. And then, oh cool, it's also going to, I think, create a target table. So if I go back here, I should have a Hoodie folder now, and I do, and I have a retail transactions folder. Awesome, and it's even partitioning the data too, which is, oh, okay, cool. That's pretty awesome. Sweet. So it looks like that is already spitting data out. If we look at our Spark history server, nothing there. I don't know why there's nothing in there. All right, well, we'll play with that a little bit later, but that's fine. So now, okay, cool. Now we should be able to go to our Glue console, and we should see a Hoodie blog DB database. Let's go to Glue. This is pretty awesome. I didn't even see a Glue option in the command. So I think that's just, oh, the EMR cluster is configured to use Glue. So under configurations, yep, Hive, Metastore client factory class. So that's just all set up to use the Glue, awesome, the Glue data catalog by default. So that's cool. Okay, sweet. So over on Glue, now in our databases, we should have a Hoodie blog DB database, and that is there. And in the tables, there's our retail transactions. And all right, this is going to be the big test now. Let's see if I can just go ahead and pop this open in Athena. So if I can do that, I will be very happy. Oh, I need to, I haven't configured Athena in this account yet. Give me just 1 minute while I do that. Okay, cool. I need to set up a query result location, and I'm just going to use this Hoodie blog template for now. That might bite me, but that's fine. Let's see, S3, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't have that created yet. So queries, and let's just put that in Athena. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, did that save? That did save. Okay, cool. So got it. We're in Athena v2. We've got that going, and we can pull open the Hoodie blog DB, and let's see if we can preview this table. Oh yes. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool. My work here is done. So here's that blog is awesome. Thank you. Who wrote that blog? Thank you, Ninad and Raghu, for writing this blog. This is awesome. Okay, so we've inserted some dummy data. We've done that initial conversion. And now what we want to do, let me go back to Athena here. I'll close this, and I'm not going to do a limit. But what I want to make sure is I want to see if these transactions are going to stream in essentially real time. So we've got 12 rows there. And what I'm going to do is the DMS received timestamp is probably what I want there. So order by DMS received timestamp descending. So that is, yeah, that's today, and that was when I started it. Okay, cool. So I'm getting really excited about this. All right, so now I go back here to the blog post, and what I'm going to do, I've got my Spark job completed. We've got our Hoodie table there. That is so cool. And I can, if I want to, I can look at this in Spark as well. So, oh, that's just going to fire up a Spark shell for me. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's do it. So we'll go back here, fire up a Spark shell, and then we can run Spark SQL. Takes just a minute to fire up there. Okay, there's the deltastreamer application. Took just a minute to show up there. All right, cool. So now I'm in my Spark shell. I can run Spark SQL, and pretty shortly here, I should see the same results from the database table. And so this is going out to the Hoodie location, reading that data, displaying it back to me, order by transaction ID. And there we go. So the same data that we saw in Athena, we see in the Spark shell here. Anything else we need to do here? I don't think so. Okay, now we need to insert some more data. So let's do that. So let's insert into dev retail transactions. So we'll go over here and we'll do that. Awesome. We're gonna update some stuff and then we'll actually delete some stuff too. So let's go ahead and do that. And so now we should see a new file under DMS data dev. Let's go over there, check that out. So DMS data, oops. Yeah, I guess DMS data. Okay, so that should, I have to wait for that to create. Okay, cool. So pretty soon, if everything is working as expected, we should see a new folder get created right there. Oh yeah, there's all the hoodie stuff. So in a few minutes. Okay, cool. So that DMS, I wonder if that load complete, replication ongoing, table statistics, inserts, deletes. Cool. So is that there yet? Not yet. DMS data. There's the data full stuff. That was the initial load. Looks like it just hasn't written out to, there we go. Now it's out in S3. Dev, retail transactions. There's my Parquet file. I wonder, I'm going to do a quick install of Parquet tools as well. Is that on my cluster? That might be on my cluster. So let's exit out of that. No. Oh, Parquet tools is deprecated? No way. When did Parquet tools get deprecated? Man, you leave the data engineering world for a year and all of a sudden. Sorry, that came up. I was trying to install Parquet tools in a different command line. And Homebrew was telling me that it was deprecated. Oh boy. Now it's installing Java 15. Anyway, okay. Parquet tools, there we go. Parquet tools. Oh, that's fine. All right, I'm not gonna poke around with that too much, but I just kind of wanted to see Parquet tools. Oh wow. Oh, you can just like do a, huh. I did not, when did this go into a pip installable thing? Apparently in May of 2020. That's pretty cool. Huh. Sorry, I haven't used Parquet tools for over a year, and it seems like everything about it changed. So, um, bummer. No module named Python. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Let's get back to the blog post. So now we've got this new Parquet file here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the hoodie delta streamer again, and my guess is this going to just, oh, I need to, let's see. So let's copy this into my command, and then incremental load, oops, incremental load, shell. Cool, so there's my bucket. So S3 bucket name, blah, blah, blah. And let's make this markdown. Cool. All right, so there's my bucket. Yarn, deploy mode cluster. SQL query base, there's that. Checkpoint 0. Okay, cool. Enable Hive sync. So what is the difference here? So the key difference is, oh, we're using a different properties file. Okay, and then a checkpoint parameter. So from the command earlier, we performed the full load. Got it. So that's that full properties and now incremental properties. Okay, so let's actually just take a quick look at those two files just to see what's going on there. So there's my full properties and AWS S3 copy that to the console. And let's do the incremental properties as well. Incremental. Cool. So yeah, the source is going to be there, and then the schema of the source incremental is a little bit different. The S3 location is a little bit different, and then is that, yeah, the SQL query that it's using as well is a little bit different too. Okay, cool. So that's pretty sweet. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and run this command here. So I'm really curious too. The job is complete, run the same query in this work shell. Okay, so yeah, so let's go ahead and run that. And so that's going to go ahead, fire up that job. And if I keep running this query in Athena, we've got 12 rows. And we should see something like 13 and no transaction ID of 2 as well. That should be gone when this job is done. So let's read through the post a little bit more. Oh, cool. That talks about using the hoodie CLI. Okay, I'll check that out in a little bit. So let me actually copy that command. Hoodie inspection, or in under the hoodie inspection. No, crickets. That's fine. I thought it was funny. All right, cool. So run the hoodie CLI. Let's see how that job is doing. That job is all done. So now if I run this query in Athena, what we should see is, yeah, transaction ID 2 is gone. We've got some new data that we inserted into there. So pretty awesome. That also shows me the hoodie file name, the partition path. All right, let's do a little inspection of the hoodie data here. So if we go over here, ooh, look at that fancy ASCII art. Nice. Okay, and we'll do a connect path. So this one. Awesome, so that connects up to S3, and that shows me the table that I'm connected to, and then commits show. Cool, so I'll go ahead and do a commit show. Awesome, so that's the initial commit. Total files added, or I guess, actually this was probably the initial commit. That was the initial commit, 8 files added. Yeah, 1 updated, 1 written, 2 records written. Awesome, that's really cool. Sweet. You can also query incremental data from the hoodie dataset. That's pretty awesome. So then if I wanted to run this continuously, so yeah, DMS you can run in multi-AZ. Oh, okay, cool. So the CloudFormation stack actually deploys the properties file. Yep, we saw that. Okay. Checkpoint 0, when deltastreamer persists, the checkpoint information commit files under the hoodie folder. Is this in? Okay, cool. So that's in my S3 bucket. Nope. Where is that? Oh, there we go. .hoodie. Okay, cool. So there's a bunch of stuff in there, including probably my checkpoint. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Yep, we used an additional parameter checkpoint 0. It persists it in the commit files. Only reads that data from S3, which is created after this checkpoint time. The task keeps writing the steps that followed. We may move the load files, yeah. Makes the process all incremental data. Only uses parameter for the first incremental load and let it use its own checkpointing. Okay, cool. Schedule the incremental, run it. Yeah, I want to run it in continuous fashion. Okay, cool. So that's what I want to do. So I want to do minsync interval. Yes. All right, let's try that. So, because what I want to do, there's my hoodie inspection, and then let's do continuous run. So I'm going to take out that checkpoint because it said not to do that on the continuous ones. Cool. And then I want to do this minsync interval seconds. And let's just do 60 seconds because we know it takes a while. I wonder, is that a DMS configuration thing? Can I tell this to run more frequently, or is that, let's see, transaction consistency timeout, commit rate, stream buffer settings, error behavior. Yeah, I wonder if that's, yeah, haven't really configured that a ton, so I'm curious. What if I go here and commit a task? Okay. Advanced task settings, history time slot. Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, sweet. So there is my migration task. So let's go ahead and spin this up in EMR. So I'm going to go back here, spin this up. Oh, let me exit out of the hoodie CLI here. And this, if I run this, this should run continuously. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm very excited about this. All right, so in my Spark history server, if I go back here, oops, that took me back to my notebook. That's not where I wanted to go. Come here, EMR. So let's go ahead and go to that cluster, fire up my Spark history server. Okay. And let's make sure, oh, that is not running continuously. What is going on there? So, what happened? Um, Application reports failed 2 times. Okay, I'm not doing something right there. Not sure what though. Oh, you know what? I think it might be that. Yes. Haha. Good old copy and paste. Oh man, and Microsoft Word converting those double dashes to M dashes. I hope that's it. Let's see if that was it. Looks like it's running now. Yep. And in a minute, I should be able to pull up my incomplete applications here. Is this one? No, this is, I think that's from before. Yeah, that's my console show. I guess I didn't exit out of the Spark history server correctly. But that looks like it's running. And so now, cool. If I go back to my MySQL console and let's see, insert into dev retail transactions. Let's see, values 16, 2021, 05, 01, 7, and Seattle, Y, 17. Not exactly sure what that is, but that's fine. 523.25. Cool. So that should insert some more stuff into my SQL database. And if I go back to my hoodie over here, DMS data, dev, retail transactions. So in a minute or so, we should see that start to pass into there. We can do maybe another one there. That is 0502. This is pretty awesome. I love that Athena also supports hoodie too. That makes things a lot easier. Cool. So let's see, in the database load. So I can keep an eye on things here and the table statistics too. Inserts, deletes. That's pretty awesome that it kind of keeps track of that there for each different table. And let's see, there's my deltastreamer. Awesome. So that's going. let's refresh this. There we go. We got a new Parquet file in there. Let's see if that's showing up in Athena yet. Not yet. Looks like Hoodie still needs to process it, but I set it to check every 60 seconds, so that'll take a little bit. There's my driver and my executors. Cool. This is pretty awesome. All right, so that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So I think that'll probably be it for right now. Yeah, this is pretty sweet. So if I update this, we've got a new insert in there. Total rows is 16. If I go back to S3, that file is over here. And I think it's been about a minute. And so if I refresh my table in Athena, we should have some new data. There we go. Now we got Seattle in there. This is awesome. Oh, this is really cool. So, yeah, that's really nice. So I can just keep Hoodie running there on my EMR cluster, stores the checkpoints in S3. I can stream that data right in. Thanks to both of these folks for creating this blog post, and thanks to the Hoodie team for making this super easy. This is awesome. All right, cool. Yeah, I think that'll be it for today. I'll leave this up for a little bit, so if folks want to see me kind of bumbling around and installing Hoodie and syncing data from DMS, that'll be up there for a little bit. So thanks for checking that out. Thanks for watching, and we'll do some more next time.